Hello, this is Crypto CJ. Welcome to today's trade of the day. It's the Monday night Zoom edition, and Bitcoin is just kind of dropping for no particular reason. So it's really annoying, but let's look at the charts and see if we can figure out why and or where it's going to go. So I'll share my screen and make sure I'm on the right one. All right, you guys should see my 5-minute Bitcoin chart. Good.
Yes.
And yeah, let's take a broader look on the day chart. And we seem to be, that's too wide. We look at Bitcoin all the time. Let's go to the
Like
4
it's setting
hour.
up for a dip.
Yeah, it does on the 5-minute. We're gonna look at that shortly. All right, I'm missing my drawings. Huh. I did those just before we started.
Oh, they're turned off on the toolbar.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you. Wow. Okay, so on Friday, we talked about, this pennant, and what I was hoping to see is that we get it breaks through, drops down, and then rebounds and takes off. Well, we don't get that. Instead, we're getting a drop the opposite direction, and it's going to break. Looks like it wants to break through. I don't know if 42,000 is going to hold. And we're in a dip sequence now on a 5-minute chart. Let's make that a little. Yeah. That's why I turned off the lines, because they were kind of cluttering up the Bollinger Bands here. So we've got a classic bubble forming, and most of you guys on this call have seen the iCoinPro 123 dip training. And what we're looking for is just like it says, 3 dips below the Bollinger Band, and then that's usually the point where the coin starts to recover. So, and since most of the coins follow Bitcoin, a lot of the coins look like this right now. So we got the big dip here, comes back to the Bollinger Band, a second dip, and looking for a third. And if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, you're probably going to be doing that around here, around 41.8 or so. Not financial advice. It could go into a 4th or 5th dip. But generally speaking, the third one's the time to get in. So I've got a low buy order on a leverage position on Binance. We'll see if that plays out, but it's following. I didn't know if I'd have time for that to play out, before this started. So I went ahead and just put a low buy order. Actually, I'll just show it to you. It's on RLC here. And I've got some other indicators from some other information sources, but I've got this software telling me this is a good time to get in, but I'm seeing that's a single dip. So I'm waiting longer, and my patience is going to pay off because I'm going to get a better entry than what the software tells me. So, so I'm looking to get in right about here. We'll see if it works out. It hasn't quite dropped where I want it yet. All right, so let's look at Ethereum as well. It's probably getting half an hour ago. It looked about the same.
Yeah.
On the 4-hour chart, we had this pennant forming. Now this still has a chance to bounce off because it broke through. It's right at the, it's right on the line here. We're hoping it bounces and takes off. So we'll see if that happens. Get a closer look here on the hour. Yeah. So it broke through yesterday. Looked like we were going to pump. And then it dropped again today, and it's printing a green candle on the hour. So we'll see. On the 5 minutes, starting a dip sequence, similar to what we just saw in Bitcoin. So we got the first dip here, second dip. And, a lot of traders don't count this first dip in the sequence. So it's a little more conservative way to go about it. And so, Jeremy Barnett, who's my trainer, would not count this. So he would say this is it's in a first dip right now. You never trade the first dip. So pretty strong green candle here, but don't know if it'll hold. All
Not with a
right.
volume as low like that. I wouldn't.
No, it's, you know, we've got volume in the red here on the MACD, pretty low here on the, you know, on the candles. And then this is an indicator I've been using for the past few weeks, the MFI, the money factor index. It's very low on here too. So this shows money is leaving the coin. So any questions on, you know, I went through the Altcoin Alert Slack group and I didn't really see anything newsworthy. Just seems to be kind of a lazy Monday towards the end of September. There was some talk about, you know, China again, and you know, they really mean it this time. They're super banning crypto, and then there was another post about how they had, you know, either more or nearly as much as the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So, you know, the Chinese government owned that much in Bitcoin. So that seems contradictory, but they don't care. So anyway, I'm not seeing a hardcore news item to explain this dip. It's not a huge dip. It's just kind of gradual anyway. Just one of those painful long slogs down. Yeah. Ugh. All right, but we are in a dip sequence. There could be some nice buying opportunities, you know, within the next, you know, 5, 10, 30 minutes or so. All right. So any questions on the market overall before we look at Altcoin Alert? All right.
It's been very up and down a lot since the weekend.
Right. So, you know, if you have these ranges that going like this, you know, 3 to 5% for day trading, like what we like to do, those can be very profitable. If you're looking for bigger moves, you know, 5 or 10%, you know, not so much. So we will see how that plays out. If we get a bigger move, you know, I suspect since today was mostly a red day, tomorrow will probably be a green day, and we'll get some moves to the upside. All right, so this is Altcoin Alert. Do we have anybody new on tonight? I thought I saw one new person. I'm trying to think, how much do I have to go over? I do see a few that I don't quite recognize, so that's all right. I go immediately to the Altcoin Alert radar because this has all the information. There is a sort of a shortcut or like a smaller bite-sized piece of Altcoin Alert. If you go to the dashboard and turn on the easy mode, you get the top AA scores, the Elder Impulse ratings, and the short-term sentiment. So, and also the recent headlines. And I'm in Cardano right now, and this didn't do anything for it. So I'm kind of annoyed with Cardano and Chainlink. Their news did not help me out. But yeah, partnerships can be tricky that way. Usually when it's too large institutions or large coins, you know, they don't move the market nearly as much as, say, a large coin and a small coin, where the small coin would get a bump, or any coin in a large business or a government, you know. So if you know, if Cardano or Chainlink partnered with Amazon or Google, that would move those coins. If, say, Algo or, you know, XMR or something like that partnered with you know, the UK government or something, that would move it. But something like this where they're sort of peers, not so much, I guess. That's my theory. All right, so that's the dashboard. If you turn easy mode off, you get a few more additional scores, a little bit more information to look at: top 5 AA, top 5 Elder, and top 5 sentiment. If you get some overlap.
Can we look at COTI?
COTI?
Yeah.
Yeah,
please.
I've got that up. We're going to look at it shortly.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks.
So Altcoin Alert radar. I'm going to turn the easy mode off, and it'll give me more information. Oh, I turned it on. There we go. And if I sort, and this is the other thing I like about the altcoin radar settings, I can sort all these columns. And right now, this Centivate is the #1. I looked this up. It's only has Ethereum and Bitcoin pairs, which I don't trade very often. So, and it's like on a couple small exchanges. And well, Laura asked for COTI, and that showed up in one of the other sorts I did. You can sort by AA score, trading activity, or any of these headings. John from our group suggested we sort by social activity because that'll bring up some of these desirable bullish scores, like with long-term sentiment and the Elder Impulse Daily. And I should have a star on COTI. And COTI does have some of that. We've got, this is what I'm looking for to check something out. A neutral or better if I'm using something other than the AA score for a sort. So I'll look at the AA score, neutral or better, a positive under trading activity. We've got that with the fire, 5% or better under 1 hour projected range. We've got that. Bullish on the Elder Impulse Daily. It's also on the hourly. Long-term sentiment bullish, short-term neutral. It's gone 20% already, and what's mostly been a down day. So maybe it's made its move already, which is why it's got a mediocre AA score. Let's check it out. I've got it up already anyway. I was looking at it earlier. So we'll go to the day chart, get the overall view. And it looks like we are at or near an all-time high with COTI. Yeah, it was around 59 cents back in March. It's over 60 cents now. So all-time high for COTI. And do we have any news about COTI? Why is this pumping today? We've got our news button here. Click that. COTI 2 so DJ Ed, the first algorithmic stablecoin on Cardano. That was at 4 in the morning. That might be some of the news. Oh no, well this was last month. This is a month ago that COTI surged 60% following the Coinbase listing news. This is the kind of thing that definitely moves the market. And then this kind of thing can help as well. So a couple key news items there. And on the hour, not seeing a good retracement option. We're pretty high up on the Bollinger Band, just it's kind of hovering around the SMA line. If you get 1 or 2 green candles, it might pop up to the top for 3%. That's not bad. It's probably not enough to take a risk of buying something up that high, in my mind. But trading with a trend can be profitable. Yeah, otherwise I'm not seeing any day trade option here. You could set an alert down here where it was this morning before it really pumped around 51, 52 cents. Like the entry on Altcoin Alert said, it's already up 20% today. Kind of risky, I think. Laura, did you have a particular reason for wanting to look at this, or you just saw it on AA with, as having moved today?
No, a friend had brought it up and asked what I knew about it, which was nothing. So that was, and then I seen it when you were going through the Altcoin Alert, because I haven't had the opportunity to get on today. So
All right.
anyway.
Yeah, there was some chatter about it in the Slack group too. So
I
because
appreciate your looking at it, though. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go back to our AA sort. We don't really have anything that good. I'm looking for usually mid 80s and higher. I'll go ahead and look at Bella Protocol because I have traded that before. Is it on my list? Nope. It's been a while. What's Bella been doing lately? Okay, so we had the high back in April. Hasn't really recovered that well. It was moving up in earlier this month, but 80%, 84% came up here, picked up about 30% and dropped again. So was 277 a couple weeks ago. On the hour chart, we've got retracement options, going back a week or so to 197, it's down 40 cents. It's got kind of that slow slog down that that we looked at Bitcoin earlier. Got a little choppier dip sequence here, not a big bubble, but we've got 1, kind of 2. You might be able to catch this down here around 151, 150. SMA line 3, a little over 3%, pretty good day trade. If you want to push beyond that, you've got some resistance here around 159, just below 160, 5% day trade. I like that. So this has potential if it continues to dip. Check on Bitcoin. Looks like Bitcoin's 1, 2. It's done a second dip and starting to come up. If it makes a stronger move up and we get a MACD cross, that's also a pretty good entry point. It's a bit riskier than waiting for the third dip, but just bear in mind you may have to ladder buy if you do that. But it is a good option if you think you're going to miss it. If we were in a hotter market, yeah, I did a lot of 1, 2 MACD cross dips when things were pumping back in February, March, April. All right, so that's Bella. And the rest are below 80. So let's do some other sorts. Let's look at trading activity. We looked at COTI already. Not seeing much. Seller was hot over the weekend or later last week. Neutral, thumbs up, thumbs up. That's kind of low. Hourly is bearish, but daily is good on the elder impulse. It's only neutral on the sentiment, down 4%. We're kind of scraping for stuff to look at, so we'll go ahead and check out seller. It's pumping nicely now on the 5-minute.
Yeah, they all turning around.
It's starting to pump.
Most of them seem to be turning around right now, heading up.
Yeah, I've got 2 green candles on Bitcoin. And this is what I do when I evaluate altcoins. I just go back and forth between my Bitcoin and my altcoin windows here. I've usually got 5. You've seen my screens before. I've usually got 5 or 6 up at any given time. All right, so let's just go to the hour on seller, see if we got a retrace. Just under 18 cents. That would be a really nice, a nice trade. So that's available to us getting back here. It's already gone through the SMA line. So technically the dip sequence is moved at this point. Now we're in a more of a trend trade. It's only 1.6 to the percent to the top of the Bollinger Band, but this movement has some steam, and we are building some candles. The MACD is crossed. We've got some green candles here. MACD is crossed. MFI is pushing up. RSI is pushing up. But again, this is all in the 5-minute chart. This can be very very temporary. But I'm seeing resistance, right about here. It's 16.7 cents. Just different levels. Instead of stair stepping down like this is, you stair step up when you look for retracement levels to get out of your trade. So let's say you get in now on a trend trade and you're really aggressive. You're going for like one of these 4th or 5th retracements, nearly 9% here. and then 13% here, but that's pretty aggressive. I would be more interested in maybe this one here around 2.5.
Hey, CJ, take a look at
3%.
ICP.
Okay. Any questions on Seller or COTI or any of the other ones we looked at? And I traded ICP. Huh, it's not on my list. Oh, it's on my
You might
leverage list.
explain MACD cross to the newbies, real newbies.
Yeah, let's do that. What we're trying to do is learn some basic chart, just to read some of the more basic chart indicators that are available to us. The three main ones are the Bollinger Bands, with the candles, the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, and the MACD, which is this bottom one, stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. I'm going to make this one bigger. This is the MACD. When this crosses, that's generally a bullish sign. And when the blue line crosses the orange line, that's a bullish. When the orange line is on top of the blue line, that's usually bearish. So as you can see, the orange line here is on top of the blue line. The volume is going negative and the price has gone down. Let's see. So we're trying to increase our odds of trades going our way. If we want a bullish trade, we've got candle action going up, though it just printed a red candle. RSI is pointing up. The MACD is about to cross, but hasn't yet. And then I like this indicator as well, the MFI, which is a money factor indicator. It's the flow of money in and out of a coin, and it's trending up as well. So, but they're all starting to hook because this red candle's printing. So we haven't gone through a third dip yet. What's Bitcoin doing? It just printed a red, it's got a red candle going too. So those are the main indicators. The first ones I learned when I was learning how to day trade, which is the Bollinger Bands with the candles, RSI, and the MACD. And that's a really good starting point. Okay, so ICP. Let's get the big picture.
Hey, CJ, don't you also have a video on YouTube showing you how to set up your indicators here?
Well, thanks for reminding me, Michael. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do. I did that, I think back in May or June, on how to set up, the indicators I just went over. So do a search on, you can look at if you have the video list that Patrick puts together, and I usually send out monthly. That's one way to find it. Or you can just search YouTube for Crypto CJ Trading View Setup or something like that, and it should come up. And if you can't find mine, there are other YouTubers who have such videos. I think there should be I don't know if the training is free within iCoinPro, but there's training there to set up your charts as well. So okay, ICP, it's not very useful. Let's look at the 4-hour. All right, so it was up over $80 on the 5th, and it's been trending down pretty hard ever since. On the 1-hour, yeah, it was $51 a few days ago. So there's room to move. There's room to retrace. Got some dips, but not a real well-defined bubble. Could call this a single dip. Second one, now it's trending up, kind of like the other coins we looked at.
Last red candle on mine, I have Elder Impulse. It shows it consolidating.
Okay.
Which is good.
Indeed. So if we were to buy, I think you'd want to wait to see if there's a third dip. MACD hasn't crossed yet. If this crosses hard and these push up hard, you get a green spike here. That might be the time to get in. I might put a low buy order in down here around 42. Let's say you got in on the third dip right near the Bollinger Band. you know, to the SMA lines, 2.28%. Got some resistance here around just under $44, just under 4%. And a lot of resistance up here around $45. So those would be potential exit points. And by resistance, I'm looking for clumps of candles. That's the inelegant way. I'm usually looking for like 3 to 5 touches. So let's say I wanted to, yeah, where's the ray? That's what I want. So it's this ray, you can see multiple touches here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 touches at this level, just over $44 between, you know, 9:45 this morning and 3:30 p.m. So that's what we call resistance. There's multiple times where the price has tried to push beyond that, hasn't been able to. So that's the kind of thing you take into consideration when you're choosing your exit point. And we see this all the time in the Slack group. Where do I get out? Where do I get out? Well, on a day trade, you know, this kind of information can be helpful. You can be more aggressive and hope that it punches through. And maybe you get something like this, you know, where there's resistance around 45, 80, 88. There's multiple touches here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know, a dozen touches between 2:25 a.m., you know, and 5:50 a.m. Pacific. So, and then if you want to hold something longer, you just do the same thing on a longer time frame, maybe on the hour for a swing trade. Might start here. And there's multiple touches here around 46.80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, and there's another group of them here. You know, my mentor, Jeremy Barnett, says these are cheat codes. You know, when you see just these clear resistance patterns, that's where you get out, or slightly below. So, all right. Any questions on resistance and support and cheat codes?
I like that, cheat codes.
Yeah.
They're usually not that plain though. They need to be for me, but
Mm. And a lot of traders put lines on these when they see them, and you'll see, and they'll be there forever, and their charts will just be a bunch of lines, and that makes me nuts. But I don't like clutter in my life. But I can usually see these. You know, these are pretty obvious to me. And when you get used to seeing these charts and looking at them and evaluating them, they'll be obvious to you too. So, all right, so that's ICP, and we are at about the half-hour point. We should probably get over to iCoinPro. But I want to see, are there any questions regarding Altcoin Alert, how we use it to find coins, and then what we do with that information once we get it and apply it to the charts? All right, let's go to iCoinPro. Do reload. All right, there's a couple different tools I use on iCoinPro to locate coins. Since we've had, this is the RSI SPY. The RSI is that relative strength index I showed you a little while ago on my chart. And I'm looking for values below 30 on this sort on the 1 hour. And that's usually a sign of being oversold, which means it's due to come back, generally speaking. I've got about a dozen coins here. I've got both Binance and Coinbase Pro up. FET or Fetch AI looks to be the one beaten down the most. So we'll check that one out. Okay, on the day chart. Hit an all-time high earlier this month, crashed down pretty hard after that. So it's well over $1, now it's at 74 cents. So we got room to move on retrace, and the hour, almost 86 cents here yesterday.
That's looking good.
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's, what I don't like to see are these, what I call squeezy dips. Justin Clark, the co-founder of iCoinPro, uses a term like that. And that's when we're essentially in a squeeze, and we have a bunch of small candles riding on the Bollinger Band, not making a big move one way or the other. It tried to bust out here, about 2 hours ago. No such luck. Came back down. It's starting over again, and we've got the Bollinger Band's just starting to bow out a little bit in a bubble. It's kind of hard to decide if this is in a dip or not, because it's not bubbling out the way we like to see. There's not much volume at all. Squiggly rising lines here. We do have a MACD cross, so it could be coming back. If we got in now, 1% to the SMA line, a little over 3% to the top of the Bollinger Band, some resistance around here. So
Doesn't look very strong.
no, not thrilled about it. But we do know that it hit, on the 1 hour chart, down here in the 30 range. So these usually come back. If you sort of back test this, each time it goes below the 30, usually comes back, down here. Of course, if you rely on that only, you get burned. Here it went below 30 and then kept going. And some traders just ignore this, if it goes below 30 and, it's an overall downtrend, but that's some more advanced technical analysis with, EMA lines and things like that. So for now, I try to keep this particular zoom to 3 or 4 indicators, so it's not too complex. But generally, even with this big drop, had you gotten in too soon, maybe ladder bought down here and it dipped again, you would have gotten out, somewhere around here and had a pretty good trade. So it would have worked out. Well, that's on the hour though, but yeah, same concept. I'd probably wait this one out, put an alert down here, and try to catch it. Yeah, I like that better. But it's risky, just not risky money wise. It's just risky that lost opportunity. You might miss a trade if you do that. If you just put an alert low and try to catch it. All right, so that is FET. And let's look at ADA.
And I really thought ADA would rock more than that. Sol was walking all over it today.
ADA has really disappointed me. It had a really nice setup for a long on a leverage position on Saturday, and it just did not do much. Even when other coins were pumping, even when Bitcoin had a pretty good day, it's certain times of the day yesterday, it just didn't move.
They had tons of good news.
Maybe it was the rumor and the I was just going off the charts on my decision on Saturday, but yeah, I had some really good news prior to that, so it's been frustrating. All right, go to the hour. It's been up in the 240s and it's down to 215 now. You know, like Laura said, this is due for a comeback. We're in a dip sequence. Got the bubble, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you count this one or not. So, well, you don't count that one. So I guess you would count this one. 1, 2, 3, and it's coming up. So we're a little late on this one. If it dips the 4th time, then you'd probably want to get in.
Where would you draw your retracement?
I'm getting to that. We've got the SMA line here at about 2%. Got some nice resistance, some pretty clear resistance here at about 219. And I've been watching this off and on throughout the day. It can't seem to hit 220. So this is probably what I would do is on a spot or on spot trade, try to get out around 3.5%. So, yeah. All right. All right, so that's the RSI SPY. You can sort it the other way and get the coins that are pumping. So that can be helpful too. But I usually sort it this way and look for coins towards the bottom that are oversold. All right, the other iCoinPro tool I like to use is a Buddy coin crawler. And this is the average low to the SMA line. So it's 24-hour low to the SMA line, which is the pink line on the Bollinger Bands I've showed you guys already. And so I'm looking for coins with usually 5% or higher values here, and then volume, usually 10 million or higher. I'll go a little bit lower if I see something I like. This one's not that great.
Would you look at Troy?
I looked at that earlier today. It's below 5, but since we're kind of scraping here, yeah, let's go ahead and look at it. Yeah. God, I traded this a couple years ago, so I know it's been around for a while. Yeah, how long has this been here? Yeah, it's listed on Binance December 19. This seems like a real outlier. It pumped up to 4 cents here last week and dropped immediately. That seems to be some manipulation. On the hour chart, we've been up to 1.4 cents a couple times. We're about 1.2 now. Oh, I can mute someone. Yeah. I do like some of these really cheap coins. Sometimes they can really move and you can get some pretty nice results without risking a lot of money. It's not really doing a dip sequence so much with the others. So that's interesting. It's still kind of in this squeeze realm, but these can be deceptive. Yeah, so even though it looks like it's squeezy, there's still 7%, between the top and the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It's right on the SMA line. It's my least favorite place to buy on the 5-minute chart. So we've got support around here. Looks pretty clear to me, around 1.2 cents. Maybe go a little bit lower to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, catch it here. See if it can work its way back up to the SMA line, 3.68. And we've got some resistance here around 1.2 cents. Like I said earlier, that would be 7% if you catch it. Down here below the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So could be useful. All right. See you later, Troy. Then I was going to look at one more. DyDx. This one I've heard a little bit about. I think this is a fairly new listing. Yeah. Yeah, it just got listed a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So 4-hour chart won't help us that much. Let's look at the hour. Big move today. So yeah, all-time high at the moment. Let's see if we have prior. Yeah, it's been on some other exchanges. Some prior charting information. Poloniex is an old exchange. So, oh shoot, that's not helping me. It can be helpful to look these up on other exchanges than the one you trade on all the time. Kraken. Wow, they got listings on all these exchanges at the same time. That's unusual. KuCoin. Well, I'm not going to keep typing these in. So yeah, a lot of this thing hit on several exchanges and 2 weeks ago. I've not seen that before. That's very interesting.
I had a couple of good trades in that today and yesterday.
Nice. Got some resistance here at $22. Sorry, $22.60. If you want to catch this trend, these are mostly lower or higher lows and higher highs. So 1% here. And then if you go back to where it was in the wee hours of the morning, get 5%. We like 5%. These indicators are mostly sideways, though they are towards the top of the range. Yeah, kind of risky, but that's an option with DyDx if you want to try to catch that trend. If it maintains, then yeah, ride that for 2 to 5%. It's a good day trade. So, well, that's all I have on iCoinPro and Altcoin Alert. Are there any questions you guys have about those two platforms? All right, are there any specific coins you want me to look at? All right, kind of quiet tonight. It's all right. We're about 45 minutes in anyway. I'll throw this open to, any crypto things you guys want to talk about. I'm going to hang around after the recording for anyone who wants to talk about the bot thing that I've emailed you guys about.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, CJ, for
Hey, Brooklyn.
everything. Hey, what's going on? So, yeah, I got some coins I want to look at.
Okay.
I want to throw you a whirlwind. RNDR, since we're talking about looking at like the supports and stuff, as
Okay.
I look at this one, RNDR, I think it is. Let me see. Yeah, RNDR.
RNB as in boy, R?
No, D as in David. RNDR.
Okay. It's on KuCoin.
We love your accent, Brooklyn.
Not from New York.
Okay,
So,
render.
You and Craig, I don't know. I have to think real hard when I'm listening to y'all to get it.
So are you looking at this? So look how it looks like it's on the hour, right? And then look how straight it is. Like, oh, and like the whole thing is just resistance and support. I mean,
Yeah, you can.
You're trading in a channel.
you see that? It's like just like a straight line.
Mhm. Yeah, we've got, like Craig said, we got a channel here that's broken a few times on the bottom, but the top's been pretty consistent on the hour chart. It's broken through a few times, but this like 102 is some pretty strong resistance. These wicks up seem to be kind of fluky to me. And then we have some support here when it dumped at midnight, but it came back, within 12 hours on the hour chart. Yeah, this is a good example of support and resistance. I don't usually do that much with hour charts as a day trader, but I do like to see the big picture, and this can be useful. I did used to trade like this.
Turn him off.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay, I thought somebody was asking me a question. Gotta mute John. So this, implementing trading ranges and, can be an advanced strategy. I'd say it's an intermediate strategy beyond, the basics that we looked at, that we usually look at, with the Bollinger Bands, candles, RSI, and the MACD. But sometimes some traders pretty much I know traders who don't use Bollinger Bands. They would ignore these and just trade this range. Set up a halfway point in between, and then when it got above the halfway point, ride the trend back up. When it dropped below the halfway point, write it down, if you're using leverage. So, but I do like this example showing pretty clear resistance. So, thank you for that.
What
You
is
said you had
1 hour? Yeah, okay.
any questions on support and resistance on this example on RNDR? Okay.
Could you have a look at Litecoin?
Litecoin, sure.
See what that's going to do. I trade that and put some into my crypto card.
All right, so this is the hour chart. It's up to 160 a couple days ago, down to 145 now. The 5-minute. I use Litecoin to move stuff. I don't usually trade it, but it does get kind of funky every couple months, it seems. Let's put the Bollinger Bands back on. 1, 2. Yeah, pretty good size bubble. Pretty single dip here, a recovery. So we get 2 dips, a MACD cross, but they're trending down now. It wouldn't surprise me if this came down to a 3rd dip around here, around 144, and then worked its way back. SMA line be 2.3%. And you've got some resistance right about here, around 149 for 3.5%. A little bit more here, 149.9 for 4%, and some more up here, around 153 for 6%. So that's what I would do with Litecoin. Well, guys, we're over 50 minutes now. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Wait, go. What was that?
Yeah, I've got a couple. They're a bit wider scope than individual coins.
All right.
But one of them is, you know how you can set a trailing stop loss during a trade?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do the same thing when you're setting a buy zone? Can you set and it keeps dropping, can you set a trailing stop loss for the buy?
Huh, I don't think so. Because, well, it'd be a market order, I would think. You can do it. You can do it on the buy if you want the price to go up. I haven't seen it other than a limit order on the price to go down. I'm not an expert on this, but that I haven't seen it. It seems like a good idea. Like put a low order in as the coin keeps going down, your order keeps going down a certain percentage. I like the idea.
You know, like when you're doing your 1, 2, 3 dip.
Sure.
You could if you didn't quite get it right, if you had that in, that would get it closer to right.
Yeah, it seems like there would be
Can't you
something
set
like that.
can't you set an alert that where the price is going, and then like the same way you would look at it if it's going up? Can't you set an alert to for it's going down? Like I'm always just looking at my coins, not always, but if I see if BTC is going down, I'll go straight to my other coins that I'm worried about, where I have like a low buy order, and I'll move it down. I mean, my buy orders are so low, it's like I don't ever think they're gonna hit anyway. So like that's usually when they hit, when Bitcoin Billy bites it in the middle of the night, and then I'm like, oh wow, it hit. But like when I see BTC going down, I'll go straight to the other coins that I'm worried about, that I think are close to there, and sometimes I move it down, sometimes I just leave it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an approach, but I think what Craig's talking about is an actual order function
Right?
that will
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
And I'm, I was on an exchange that had a bunch of different orders I'd never seen. At least the jargon was different. I think it's Huobi. So anyway,
Yeah.
I don't have a
Huobi.
specific answer, but it was, but again, there were different approaches there I hadn't heard of. So it wouldn't surprise me if one of them was resembled, what you're talking about. It seems
I'm
like a
glad
good
I'm not
idea.
the only one confused on Huobi.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay.
looking at
The next question,
Well,
if we're ready.
sure, go ahead.
The difference between futures trading, the perpetual, and leverage trading. They seem to be two different things, but I don't quite know what the difference is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I could really explain that very well, and it's sort of beyond the scope of this show, but I think it's a reasonable question based on, what I know you and I are into at the moment. So, but yeah, let's maybe try to explore that some other time.
Okay, and the other one is totally different again. I'm thinking of setting up a multi-screen setup. Does anyone have any experience with that?
I've got 2 at the
Not
moment.
2 screen.
More than 2?
Yeah, no, but more than 2, yeah.
Okay. No, I don't have any experience. It's something I'll probably do at some point, at least have a 3rd screen. But I don't have the room in this space at the moment to do that, but no room on the beach. But,
nice background.
Yeah. But yeah, now we're talking really more of a technical, issue than as opposed to a trading issue. I think it's practical what
Yeah.
you're asking, but it's a little bit beyond what I could talk about here, but something to explore at a later time.
Oh.
Yeah, does anybody have 3 screens or more? I'm kind of curious.
I have 3
Mike's got 3. Okay.
and a laptop.
Yeah, I can do 2 in a laptop. I've done that before. I was having some difficulty with an exchange. It would work. It wouldn't work on my computer, but it would work on my laptop and my phone. So that was annoying, but eventually it started to work on my computer. It was a moot point, but yeah, getting the computers to all work together, that can be a challenge sometimes.
Well, what you could
can
do is
barely
get
handle the
one of those
laptop.
ultra high def televisions and then do picture in picture, and then you get like
Oh, my.
6 or 8 of those things going.
Mike's out of control over here.
I know, right? Just show me all the show me all the candles.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up here and end the recording. For those of you watching on the recording, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and stop this here.